This is the Spartan Body Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Winterhalter. Today on the podcast, the hidden cost of silence. The hidden cost of silence. Why men struggle asking for help. Are you a man who, you just struggle asking for help? It's just you'll help people all day long, but you really struggle asking for help. Today's podcast is for you then. We're going to talk about the 4 reasons why we struggle and what we can do to be better men. And that's what we do here at the Spartan Body Mind Podcast. We are trying to help men reclaim their manhood. That doesn't mean we're trying to help you man up and be more grizzly and be more hairy and be more, whatever culture's manhood weirdness. We're talking about real manhood. What does it mean to be a man who owns yourself, who takes responsibility for your physical, mental and emotional well-being? How do you take responsibility for yourself so that you can fill yourself up with good, with a thriving and a vibrant person, mentally, physically, emotionally, so that you can pour out into your relationships, into your vocation, into your avocation, your hobbies, your community impact, to your neighborhood? How can you be a person that's thriving in all areas and aspects of your life? That's what I'm interested. That's why we're here today. And again, if you're a gal listening to this, same thing applies for you. I'm just targeting specifically men because I'm a guy and I've been there. I've been in a place where I don't think I was capturing all that manhood had for me. I think I was listening to a lot of things that were not fully healthy. I was listening to voices in my head that made me operate in ways that didn't have my cup being full so that I could actually pour out the best of me. And so that's why I want to work through things going on in between our ears, things that are keeping us from actually being the men that will actually make life worth living. So today, again, the hidden cost of silence. Why do men struggle asking for help? Here are 4 reasons. Number 1, there's just an appearance. We don't want to appear weak. We don't want to appear needy. We don't want to be a burden to people, so we just won't ask for help. And this comes to physical help, right? Oh, I need to move this thing. Nah, I'll just do it myself and hurt my back. It comes to mental things. Man, I'm really struggling just with my confidence. I'm struggling with this problem. I can't figure it out. Oh, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to. And that's really the second thing. The second thing is not only an appearance, but a fear of judgment. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to be seen as not knowing the answer to something, and so I just won't ask. Well, man, that's not helping you. So the first thing, that appearance of that identity thing of weakness, of need. Well, guess what? No one's Superman. No one can do all the physical things. No one has all the mental clarity. No one has, and yet there's this I don't want to be seen in a lower way. Well, here's the other thing. Whether it's the appearance or whether it's the fear of judgment, looking at feel like you're stupid or you don't know. Well, here's what's odd. Here's the dichotomy. If someone asks you, "Hey man, do you know this?" Yeah. You'd love to share your knowledge. You don't, when someone asks, go, "Well, golly, aren't you stupid?" You don't think that. You're excited to help them. You're excited to share something that you know. And yet, why don't you think when you need to know something, why do we flip the script then? Instead of going, man, maybe someone has information that I could glean from. Instead, now it's about me. Now I feel inferior. Isn't that interesting? I think this is one of the ways that we defeat this foolishness in between our ears. We remember you don't know everything. It's impossible for everyone or anyone to know everything. So this is why we need each other. I need someone who knows more about this. I want to learn. I want to be in an attitude of learning. I want to be in an attitude of humility to grow. That's why I have a lot of books. There's a lot of people smarter than I am. I want to learn. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to be fascinated by things I want to understand better. And again, it comes back to appearance. Yes, I'm going to be weak in some areas. I'm going to be needy because my life isn't perfect. I'm going to encounter things where I need help physically, mentally, emotionally. That doesn't mean I'm weak in a bad way. It means I'm weak in a real way. It's just like going to the gym. Sure, there are some areas where I'm super strong. There's also some areas where I'm really weak. So just because I can leg press 12 14, 16 plates aside doesn't mean that I can deadlift all I want to, you know? In fact, I hurt my back again being stupid with the deadlift because I'm not very good at it. I need to humble myself and perfect my form with lightweight so that then I can lift heavier weight. I'm weak. I'm a bit stupid. And I need to learn that. See? Okay, reason number 1, appearance, the appearance of being weak, needy. Reason number 2, fear of judgment, looking stupid. Being critiqued. We're fearful of that. Number 3, reason why we don't, the reason why we struggle asking for help is just a vulnerability. We're just vulnerable. We don't trust. We don't trust that maybe if we're vulnerable that won't be used against us. We're also fearful that what if we ask for help and no one shows up? Have you ever moved and hey, you threw it out there, hey, and we're moving, could use a little help, and no one shows up? Ugh. Is that like a worse feeling? But here's the thing. Did you actually ask, or did you just post it on Facebook and no one saw it because Facebook's algorithms suck? I think sometimes we think that we actually asked for help when we didn't. There was no real intentionality about it. I didn't text a specific person and say, hey man, are you available? I know it's an inconvenience, but man, we could use 5 hands. Did you actually ask? Because I think people want to be asked specifically. If it's just a general, my mind's kind of like, I'm sure they have other people who help. Ask specifically. Be vulnerable. Be okay. And this is one of the reasons I think men don't have deep relationships. We have a lot of surface relationships. I'll just speak for myself. I have a lot of surface relationships. I have very few deep relationships. And even the ones that I would consider deep, I could be a lot deeper. And I need to be a lot deeper. Because I think the deeper you are, the more help you'll be able to get because people actually know you. You have vulnerability with them. Your life doesn't look storybook. So the more they can understand, the more they can actually speak back with clarity that will help. The more they can give specific information instead of general. Be known. You don't have to be known to everyone, and you shouldn't be known to everyone. But you should be known to a few. And those few should know you as deep as possible. Man, those are the relationships where that person has my back and I have theirs. The 4th reason why men struggle to ask for help is we just have a difficulty expressing ourselves because we're usually not good at communicating emotional things. Because again, of all the other reasons, we don't want to be weak, we don't want to look stupid, we don't want to look like we're not in control. We don't trust people, how they might use it against us. So we have this difficulty. Maybe easier to ask for physical help, come help me move this thing, than it is for, man, I'm really in a dark place. I'm really in a vulnerable place. But can I encourage you with something? If you take away anything from this podcast, can I encourage you with this? Vulnerability is not a weakness. Being vulnerable to a friend, let me say this, if you're vulnerable to everyone, I don't think that's a strength. I think that's kind of this, a little bit of the victim mentality that you're actually trying to get attention through victimhood. And I don't think that's healthy. I think that there's a difference between victimhood and vulnerability. Vulnerability is being very transparent and very honest, not about what's been done to you, but about what's going on in you. How are you processing? How are you growing? How are you dealing? How are you with what's going on in your life? Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a sign of strength, a sign that you are willing to be honest and truthful about where you're really at, about the good in life, about the bad in life, about the hard and the sorrowful of life. And when you're able to do that, people can come alongside you, and then they can actually be a support, walk with you, care for you, give you some actual insights that actually might help, because you're being vulnerable for them to really know what's going on. We need deep and authentic relationships. Women have an easier time at this. Doesn't mean they're all... I know plenty of women who think that they're deep in relationships and they're pretty surface because they're afraid of being vulnerable, afraid of being really them, afraid of not having it all together. But men stereotypically, predominantly suck more at this. Humans were meant to be in relationship. Humans were meant to be in community. We need each other. And if you really want to have success in life, and not success by whatever lifestyles the rich and famous tell you what success is, I'm talking about real success. I'm talking about you being the best version of you possible, physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm talking about you in that condition then of health and vitality, pouring into real healthy relationships, deep friendships, a deep marriage, ability to parent deeply with your children. I'm talking about someone who really uses their work for impact, whether that's vocationally, avocationally, being a good neighbor, being a healthy citizen in your community. If you want to live a vibrant life, practice being vulnerable. Not to everyone, but to someone. I want to encourage you, if you're a guy and you struggle with this is one of the key aspects of the Spartan program. You know, I'm no longer doing with this just one-on-one coaching. Yes, there's a component of one-on-one coaching you get, but the Spartan program is built around a group. It's built around men coming together and working through the things going on between our ears. This is what we just talked about in the cohort on Saturday. In our group session, we talked about why we struggle asking for help and how the Spartan program is a great place to ask for help. In fact, that's the first thing you need to do, is to say, I need help. I'm not the best version of myself. And I see that. I see it in my relationships. I see it in my work. I see it in my life. I see it when I look in the mirror. And so I don't just want to try to do this myself, because I have done. And look where it's gotten you. Nowhere. So consider becoming one of the 5 guys that will be invited into the program for March. If you say, I need to become a better version of myself, I want you to consider joining the Spartan program. You can go to thespartanprogram.com. Thespartanprogram.com. Check it out. See if that would be a fit for you. Apply. I'll set up a call and we'll have a chat. And we'll see if it would actually be a good fit, if it would actually give you the results that you're looking for. Because I only want to work with people that I think I can change your life. That this would be a program that would transform you and help you become a better man. So, stop being silent. Start asking for help. Start deepening some of your key relationships, specifically with other men. There it is. I hope that's an encouragement. I hope that you take action. In fact, I'd love to hear in the comments how you might take action from today's podcast. Seth Winterhalter, thespartanprogram.com. Until next time.